Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Joy Hardiman, Emeritus Faculty, the Evergreen State College.
No, everybody, we come together, we go together. All right, here we go. All right, so I'll take a mic, and then Sandra, you take a mic on that end right now so that you don't have to reach for it and pass it around. And then, yeah, so we get one on each end and one in the middle. Okay.
How about the mic like this, guys?
Right, all right. Yeah, like. Good afternoon.
Okay.
We don't need these mics. You need that. All right. Go ahead. Okay. Good afternoon. All right, let's try one more time. Good afternoon. Okay, I want to get all of your attention because something very marvelous is about to happen. Okay, so if your neighbor's talking, nudge them and say, shh. Thank you. Thank you. We have a marvelous event about to happen, and I want you to be able to give it its full attention. The student panels are always one of the most exciting parts of achieving the dream. And today we have some incredible students who are going to share their experiences with you. And so I'd like them to introduce themselves, and what I've asked them is if they could say their name, what school they were from, and what they plan to do after they graduate. Because the assumption is that they're going to graduate with glory, and so we want to know where they're going to go next. All right? So please introduce yourself.
How you doing, everybody? I'd like to start off by introducing myself. My name's Evan Gonzalez. I'm currently a student from Kingsborough Community College in Brooklyn. Thank you very much. And I would like to get a PhD in psychology. That's what I'm looking forward to. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm going to greet you in my mother tongue, Maswera se Sawubona. My name is Chipo Moyo. I am from Zimbabwe, Southern Africa, and I'm studying at Tarrant County College. And I am pursuing degrees in business administration, fashion design, graphic design, and psychology.
Hi, my name's Elizabeth Davis, and I'm from Tarrant County Community College. In 5 years, when I'm done with school and I have my bachelor's, hopefully going for my master's, I plan on studying pediatrics oncology and going to Cook's Children or Children's Medical Center.
All right.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Robert Ramirez, and I am currently attending Brazosport College.
Yeah.
In 5 years, after I get my bachelor's in biology, I will attend a school to become a PA.
Hi everyone, my name is Sam Jones. I'm originally from South Africa. And I'm here from Washington, D.C., representing the University of the District of Columbia Community College. It's a bit of a mouthful. And I graduated with my associate's degree in graphic design in May this year, and after that I plan on transferring to a four-year university where I will get my bachelor's degree, and then I hope to go on to get my master's in fine arts, and from there I plan on opening my own business where I'd like to help nonprofit companies have a visual presence through online media and through any kind of printed material. Thank you.
Good afternoon, dreamers. I'm Sandra Valley Bagley from Phillips Community College of the University of Arkansas, who's sitting right here today. I am graduating this May with an associate's degree in business administration. My future plans include getting a bachelor's of business administration from the University of Arkansas Little Rock, a master's in information technology from University of Arkansas in Fayetteville, with a sidebar master's in divinity, and going on to pursue a doctorate in Christian education. My career plans also include an executive position at AT&T, where I'm currently employed, and an advanced position in the church where I currently serve. Thank you.
Didn't I tell you they were amazing? Yes? Amazing. Okay, our first question is, what expectations did you have of your community college experience before you came, and were there any surprises after you got there? Yes, please.
I attend Tarrant County College, and it's one of the biggest community colleges in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And I expected to just be another number because I've only been at the school for 4 months. But you know, I feel like I'm a part of a family. I was pleasantly surprised, is probably my response for that question. There's such a positive energy, and I feel like if I'm not going to be involved, I feel like I'm missing out. So, you know, my first experience with the school was a positive experience. I feel like I'm a part of a family, and I'm so proud to be a student at that school.
All right, excellent, excellent. Anybody else? Oh yeah, let's applaud. Yeah, that's a good. All right. Yeah.
Well, to comment on that, honestly, I really wasn't too fond of the idea of community college at first. I thought that maybe it would be a waste of my time, to be honest with you. But as soon as I got in within like the first 2 months, I noticed that it was very different than high school, and it was an experience that allowed me to open my mind to new things. You know, young people tend to be narrow-minded where I'm from, so it's so I just felt like the faculty there really opened up, and they could relate to me. They were very personal. They talked about things that I go through, and they supported me in every way. Opening doors, the learning community I was first in, my first year, it really helped me out, and it allowed me to join the advanced learning community, which is now still helping me out, and that's one of the reasons why I'm here before you. So it was a great experience.
All right.
I would just like to add, after several failed attempts at attending community college part-time, I was just shocked that PCCUA would let me in. And I know that's probably funny because many community colleges have open enrollment, but you didn't see my transcript. But I was very excited at the ease of the whole admissions process, the financial aid situation, and I was even awarded a scholarship because it was my first time being a full-time student, and because of the work that I had actually done being an honor graduate from high school. So it was very easy once I was accepted into admissions, and once they looked at my transcripts and the work that I had done, and then I was qualified for a scholarship. So I was very surprised about that and excited.
All right, excellent. Yeah.
I would say I was quite scared to go to community college at first from the things I had heard about it beforehand, but I was pleasantly surprised at how great community colleges actually are, and how supportive everyone is, and the smaller classes, and some of the great professors I've had and advisors that have helped me along the way. So from what I initially thought about community colleges, my whole thoughts have changed while being in them. So it's been a great experience.
I too didn't expect much from community college. To be honest, I was slightly embarrassed because all of my other friends were going to these higher universities. You know, these teachers in high school don't encourage people to go to community college. You know, they encourage you to go straight to the university because they believe that's the only way you can succeed in life. And personally, the great people that I have back there at Brazosport College, they have proved to me otherwise. They have proved to me that community college is the best and smartest decision that you can do. You know, and I'm very grateful, and I'm glad. and I'm proud to be a student at Brazosport College.
Okay. Next question. Were there, what was your, you talked about how you loved community colleges, and what was your worst experience? And what did you do to overcome it? What kind of challenges, did you have? Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be completely honest with everybody here. I really think that my worst experience with the entire community college experience was the financial aid. It's like really hard to get it. I don't know what it is, the verifications that they put you through, the background checks. To me, it's ridiculous. It takes really long. I needed the money so I can go to school and be successful in the way I wanted to be. And it was causing a lot of problems. It stresses you out. It was a little frustrating, but you wait your turn and it'll come and you will succeed.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Sonia.
My worst experience attending a community college was just a starting process. I had nobody there to guide me. I had nobody there to help me and tell me which way I needed to go. I went in, they gave me my username, my password, told me to go into the system, change my password, and that was it. I was left to do everything else on my own. I had to figure out how to do my FAFSA, what kind of classes I needed to take. Even going to figuring out who my counselor was, or my advisor, who my advisor was. So that was probably my worst experience going to a community college.
Okay. Anybody else?
I think my worst experience was at the beginning of community college, and well, before that, I actually dropped out of college a long time ago. I only lasted 1 month in college, so I went back to college. But my worst experience was not actually having a goal in the beginning, and it's only from having that goal through the beginning of college, and as soon as you have that final goal, it kind of makes you want to finish your college career. So without that goal, your college experience, it can be quite bad. So before that, the whole part of that would be it.
All right. So what advice would you give to students who are entering community college in terms of navigating financial aid, or navigating student support, or time management, or goal setting?
Well, I really have just one tip. You should do it as early as possible. Just get it done, guys. Don't wait into the middle of the season whenever they're telling you the deadline is coming up. You should do this as soon as possible so that you know you're done with it and you don't have anything to worry about. You just wait it out, and you'll be fine. That's my opinion.
Okay, cool. Elizabeth.
Patience. Patience is a virtue. Everything is time-consuming. In time management was my biggest obstacle. I have a 7-year-old. I'm a single mom. So between all of his activities and my homework and having to go to school and having to do study groups and everything, time management is really everything. But patience and, keep working at it, and you will achieve.
My advice is to take advantage of the professors. They are there to help you succeed. They want you to succeed, Take advantage of them. Go talk to them. Ask questions. They will have the answers for you. Whatever questions you may have, maybe this professor may not know the answer, but there's going to be other people on campus who do know the answer. So make sure you take advantage of those. Well, don't take advantage of them. Just, go approach them, get acquainted with them, build this relationship with them.
And I would just like to add to talk with and listen to your advisors. Have some idea of what you want to do, what you're interested in, what you like. But then your advisors will lay out a plan, at least mine did, laid out a plan for me to get me to completion, to get me to the degree, whether if you're going for a degree, if you're going for a certificate, understand the whole plan and not just this 1 or 2 courses that I'm going to take this semester, but what you're going to do long term. That will help you with setting priorities, and as I shared in another segment, with learning to say no to those things that do not fall in line with that plan.
Just to add to what Robert said, I think that you definitely should speak to everybody on that faculty. They really have the opportunities that you can take advantage of, like Robert said, and it would definitely benefit you in the long run. every opportunity you should take, every single one. Shouldn't miss one. Every time. Anything they offer you, I am so serious right now. I'm so serious. You just take every opportunity that they offer you, and I guarantee you, you will see the benefits from it.
I like to call them my 5 Ps as a strategy. I think it's important to have a purpose. It's important to have a passion. It's important to have priorities. And I think number 1 on the list is people. It's important for you to be connected, you know, like what everybody was saying, with your advisors, with your professors. And the last P, it's important to be persistent.
Excellent, excellent, nice, yeah, nice.
And 2 things that I've learned from being in a community college is to make sure that you finish your associate's degree and not just take a few courses and don't finish it. Just make sure you finish it. So finish what you start. And also to take advantage of extracurricular activities like your Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society and like becoming dream ambassadors like we've done. We've taken advantage of those opportunities and not just sat back and been another number, another student. So any kind of extracurricular activities in your college you should take advantage of.
Hey,
and one more thing.
You know what we forgot to mention? We forgot to mention our labs. Our science labs, the math labs.
Oh, that's true.
We need to take advantage of those. And the library.
Right, right, exactly.
And study groups.
And I don't think if you're a student attending community college, you shouldn't ever be embarrassed about attending a community college. I think this is an opportunity to succeed and better yourself as a person, and it's only the first step in your long career. So you have a lot ahead of you. Community college is only the first step.
So if you were a marketing executive, how would you sell community colleges? I mean, what would you say to people about coming to them and what their advantages and what they might find inside of them?
Well, considering the community college I attend has learning communities, and I think they benefit anybody that's been involved with them. I have 2 brothers and siblings, and they're not having the same success as I am with the learning communities. And I see it every day. He has trouble reaching his advisors and things of that nature, and I don't. My advisor calls me whenever there's an opportunity available. She lets me know about it, and I can make my decision whether I can do that. So I think that just the engagement of the faculty to student is really that important in a community college. It's really making it what it is today. So.
I would say it's affordable, because as an international student, I pay out-of-state tuition. So if local students, just as an example, if they were paying $82 per credit hour, I'm paying $205. And if I want to take 18 credit hours, I'll let you do the math. But it's definitely more affordable. Yes.
Right. Good point. Good point. Excellent. Yeah.
If I were an advertising executive, I would advertise, stories of students who have already succeeded from community college. Show them videos of the Dream Ambassadors, and say, hey, you can do this with persistence. Just work hard and don't ever let anyone tell you otherwise. Just believe and you can do it.
While we were there in D.C., or Silver Spring, my apologies. While we were there in Silver Spring, the 4 of us had the opportunity to take 10 minutes away from our busy crammed schedule to sit there and really start talking about things and seeing how we could start to have people understand what we're doing. And Ms. Sandra brought up a make it stick. And ever since we did this make it stick thing, it's stuck with me. And it goes basically, if I was to approach somebody and somebody asked me about community college, it starts off, well, what is your dream? Where do you want to see yourself in 5, 10 years? How are you going to get yourself there? The only way to do it is by getting a degree. And why not start at a community college level?
So going along those lines, were there any particular people that you think helped you get the degree? Were there any faculty or support staff or administrators that kind of stand out in your mind as people who kind of nurtured you and helped you along your way?
Absolutely. You know, there's the African proverb that we talk about, it takes a community to raise a child. And so I'll twist on that and say it takes a community college to get a career started. And so at PCCUA, I can tell you there was a community of people who helped me to be successful. It started with the person who's over student affairs and the registration, the financial aid, and getting my schedule together, as well as my advisor, as I mentioned earlier, who helped me to plan the course for me to achieve my dream. And then also the faculty and the support staff. The faculty were not easy on us. And it's great that we have smaller classes where you can have the personal interaction with the professors, but they also encouraged us to go to study groups, they encouraged us to go to labs, and then also we have the student groups such as the Phi Theta Kappa, and we were told up front in registration, fall registration and orientation, the qualifications to get into that, so that you can shoot for obtaining that GPA to be in Phi Theta Kappa. But getting in Phi Theta Kappa wasn't the end, it was the beginning, because there were so many other opportunities afforded to you through that organization, not only for your education, but also to serve into the community, because we also do things like Angel Tree and Relay for Life and so many other things to help you in your experience at college. So I'll say it again, it takes a community college to raise a career opportunity.
All right. Just also to add to her her view on this topic, I feel like that it was no one person that really helped me out. It was definitely a group of people. I don't have a favorite person, an individual. I have favorites. It's groups of individuals that have helped me along the way. My advisor, for one, she's my opening doors advisor, Ms. Gail Becker. I don't want to sound like I'm sucking up, but Marissa, she's sitting right there. These are the types of people that have propelled me forward in my career at the community college. So I think they've really helped me a lot.
Right. I completely agree. You know, I'm not here because of one professor. I'm here because of that entire, you know, Brazosport table back there. You know, I'm so grateful to be here. You know, they saw my potential. You know, it's because of them that I'm here. You know, if no one noticed me and no one cared, why should I care? You know, if they didn't believe in me, why should I believe in myself? You know, so it's through their support and, you know, whatever they did, you know, whatever they did to motivate me, you know, I'm here because of them, and I'm so grateful.
It started off as one person. It started off with my son looking at me and asking me, "Mommy, do you want to be a policeman forever?" Yeah, he's 7. He doesn't think it's cool, I guess. But once I got into the community college, I was actually in a program called the Chancellor's Emerging Leadership Program. And we started this program with, I was one of the first groups in the program. And as soon as I got into that program, I made a connection with somebody. And she's actually in the room, Miss Casey Curtis. Yes, back there. I look up to her. She's an amazing person. She works a full-time job, plus going to school to finish her degree, you know, and she's always so at peace. She's, it's all good. If it happens, it happens, whatever. You know, she's an amazing person. So coming to this college, it's I look up to, and since I got into this program, the other person that I look up to is Miss Mia. She's been running around with her head cut off like a lost chicken, but she's got it together. And, you know, those 3 people right there are who make me who I am today.
All right, thank you. And I don't want to forget Rachel, because she's sitting right there too. I'm getting in trouble. I don't. Nah, she's been a big help.
Okay, I'm the opposite of Evan. I know you don't have favorites, but I do.
Okay.
Okay, I would love to say my favorites. I love you, Chancellor Irma Hadley Johnson. She is so humble. You know, we came on this trip, and I think one of my highlights has been she comes and she sits and has breakfast with the student team, and it's a big deal because, you know, she's representing the faculty, she's representing all the presidents from our campus, and I guess one really important thing I've learned from her is she's not just, teaching me facts, but teaching me to have a meaningful life. And another favorite is, that I have is Miss Jacqueline Wormsley. She's an amazing woman. She's such an inspiration. And, she's pushed me to get involved. I'm actually very shy, soft-spoken. So
that's what I thought.
yeah, today wasn't very easy, but I don't think I'm doing so bad.
I think you did.
I think you're doing great.
You're doing perfectly.
And another favorite is my president, President Bill Coppola. He's an awesome man. He pushes me to do well academically at school, and I love the fact that he's available. He makes himself available for the students. If you have questions, he's accessible. It's easy for you to talk to him and to ask questions. And I think they represent our school so well. They represent the professors well.
Yes.
I think as students we can tell the professors and the advisors that are passionate about us and that want us to succeed. So it's very apparent as soon as we have a class with them that they care about us, and that kind of makes us want to do better in our classes. And I also we've been talking a lot about like the big community colleges, and like they always get a round of applause, but I'm part of a much smaller community college. We've only been around since 2009 or 2010. I might be wrong, not like 100% about that, but we're only about 2,700 students. And I've been lucky enough to have some great professors. One of my professors is Anthony Gongora. He's great because he cares about about students. But also some people here. My deputy CEO, Julie Johnson, who's amazing, and she's right over there. If that whole table could stand there, Dr. Woodland and everyone else from DC. But it's, yeah, our deputy CEO, Julie Johnson, has just been very helpful with our Phi Theta Kappa, with everything, and she honestly cares about students. So I owe like a big thank you for everything.
So you all have been quite gracious in talking about the faculty that support you. But a lot of times colleges are kind of a mixed bag, and you have faculty that are really supporting, and then you have faculty that kind of are operating from notes that they had 20 years ago, and don't know your name even at the end of the quarter. What recommendation would you give to colleges about? All right, Elizabeth. No. What recommendations would you give to colleges about trying to bring about how to deal with that situation, how to even out that situation?
Well, I think relating to the student would be key in that situation. You have to be able to socialize and understand and relate to that person, because students from nowadays, they're not the same students that they were 10 years ago, and they're not the same students that they were 20 years ago. It's a real different lifestyles these people live. They have single-parent homes, they work part-time jobs, they're trying to go to school at the same time and trying to better themselves, and they come from lower-income families. So I'm not saying that didn't happen before, but we live in a different time, and things are different, people act different. And I think if once you understand that, you'll have a better time, and you'll have an easier time, and I think they respect you more for that as well. So.
Okay,
communication training.
Okay.
How to talk to your students. That is the main thing. You got people that still want to talk like they're from the 60s and hello, welcome to 2013.
Broke it down on the
I know. Keep going.
I understand not all the teachers are from the 60s, but the majority of them range in that era.
Okay.
So, yeah, communication would be the biggest thing. You don't have to talk down to us. Talk to us. Talk to us like we're adults. We are adults. We might act like children sometimes, but we are adults, I promise.
Right. Let's share now.
There's a new language that we speak now into 2013. It's called Twitter. It's called Facebook. I know that, sometimes, professors look at Twitter and Facebook from a negative perspective, but it does help when you know how to use that. And it helps you with relating to your students because that's where they are. That's where they spend most of their time. But, they can even use it in the classroom, and you can use it to your advantage as well when you're instructing.
And if I could tag on to what Shiloh was saying, because that's exactly what I was about to say. It's about building a relationship with your students. It's not just someone in the class who's doing the assignments and doing the work, but we speak a different language called tweeting and Facebooking and updating, and now that's even expanded to Instagram and Tumblr, and we text and rather than talk on the phone. And so it's great that you have office hours and have those posted for us to come by, but chances are it's a lot quicker to just answer a tweet, just reply to a text. I may just want to know what was the assignment again, or what day are we taking the test, and it will save you a lot of time as well. But the other thing about building that relationship, it's kind of like Dr. Maxwell said, it's not so much how much you know, but it's how much you care. And we're really in this together because once it gets to students don't feel like the college or the professor cares, they are the consumers. They will eventually go somewhere else. And so for colleges that may be experiencing enrollment decline, think about what is the relationship that you have with the students and what is the relationship we have with the community. And we need to build that relation and learn to speak the new languages.
All right, yes.
Can I just build on, we kind of had a bit of a debate about the whole Facebook and social media aspect of things, and I was kind of on my own there, that I thought it needs to kind of be regulated still a lot more because there are a lot of students who take advantage of it in class, and that when they should be doing their work, they're kind of Facebooking. So as much as it is a great thing, that it still needs to be regulated in a proper way, which we're still working towards, I think.
Well, and Sam, we kind of, like you said, you opened the door, so we may have to go there. But like you say, yeah, we're not looking for students to sit in class and be updating their status and posting pictures from last night's party while you're trying to teach on trigonometry. But we are saying that there are creative ways that instructors can use Facebook and Twitter. For example, there was a teacher who was teaching Spanish and then got their students to get on Twitter and start tweeting to other Spanish-speaking people. Real life, that's how you learn to use the language, is to actually speak the language and to write the language. But you can do that in class. And there are so many apps, and we have smartphones and tablets. Why not take advantage of the technology today and be interactive along with our smart boards? And that's how we keep the students engaged. If the conversation that's going on in a classroom is engaging enough, I tell you, I will not be looking at my baby pictures on Facebook.
I'm going to go with Sandra on this. There's other things out there that you can make the classroom more interesting. When you're doing English assignments and we're having to read a book, let's, as a class, pull out our smartphones or the iPads or the laptops, because they're in there. You might not know it, but they're in there. And let's do a little bit of research about the person that wrote the book. Okay, so I know this much about this particular author. Now I understand why he wrote this book, which is going to make me more interested in reading the book. So, I mean, it's not just Facebook or Twitter or something like that, because, yeah, you do have the people out there that's going to ruin it for everybody by playing games and not listening. But you've got the opportunity out there. Google is right there. Take advantage of it.
I don't want to switch the subject away from this because we had this great half-an-hour conversation about this yesterday, and everybody had a different opinion, and they were getting all passionate. But we've got to...
Mainly me.
But we have to... Let me just switch a second and ask you one more subject area that I think it's important for us to cover for the audience, and that's developmental education. Have any of you had an experience with developmental education, and what was that experience, and would you like to share your strategies and experiences with us?
Well, in my first year...
Okay, let her go first.
When I came in and did the AccuPlacer, my scores were horrible. They were scary, sad. I had to do all, starting at step 1 in all the developmental classes, all 3 maths, both writing, reading, all of it. I had to start all over. If we could somehow arrange it to where it doesn't take a year and a half to do all 3 maths, or it doesn't take a full year to do writing 1 and writing 2, somehow combined your writing 1 and writing 2 into one semester, and all 3 of your maths into one semester, you would see that pulling up students' grades, they're accelerating at, like my first math and my second math, I made a 100 in the course. But because I needed a little more study time in the third math, unfortunately I'm having to repeat it, but somehow condense and make those classes shorter than having it take so long.
All right, thank you.
Well, some of the classes that I took in my first year was a class called Student Development, and it just, since I just came out of high school and I didn't go directly out of high school, I waited about a year and a half. And I just felt that class really opened my eyes to what the expectations that they had for me as a student. So when I first sat there, I wasn't really sure what they was expecting from me in the college environment. But the student development class, it really developed me as a student and the person that I am today. It allowed me to see what types of things that I would have to do and what would I need to persist in doing so I can be a successful student. So that's basically it.
I think with math classes, one of the most important things is everyone learns differently, so there has to be a way to kind of understand that, like, someone's going to learn from a professor and someone's going to learn from a tutor, and other people learn better from the textbook. Because I would find for myself, when I would be sitting in classes and the professor was teaching, I wouldn't understand anything that he was teaching me until I sat down and went through the textbook. So it's very important that everyone understands that people have different ways that they learn math.
To be honest, I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I've never had to take, any transitional, courses. But, I hear all the time that those who do, they don't like it because, they're only having trouble with this certain area, not the entire course, And what we're doing over there, we're doing the mathematics, modules where it's a self-paced course. Like Sam said, people learn differently and they learn at different rates. So the students take their time and they do it as best as they can. They learn, they pace themselves. You know what I mean? So it's great because you don't have to, if you're good in this area, you don't have to spend the entire course, like, as one, just focusing on that area. You can move ahead while others are still behind, with those courses. So I think that, these transitional courses need to be self-paced and, create these modules.
Okay, we have one more question before we turn it over to the audience for a couple questions, and maybe 1 or 2 questions. And that last question is, if you could say anything to the Achieving the Dream board, or anything to these college presidents, or anything well, particularly to the people, to the funders, right, and the policymakers, what would you say?
They always wonder what students want. They always assume that they know what we want, and they don't. It's time to step out of the box. It's time to step out of the office. Go onto your school grounds, get to know your students, and ask them what they want. Anything that you guys discuss in your meetings and behind closed doors and wonder, well, do you think the students could benefit from this? Ask. We have your answers. You might, want to know what they want for lunch one day. Just ask. It's 90% of the time pizza.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else want to comment on that, please?
My advice is to keep believing in us. We will make you, we will meet your expectations. Have high expectations of us, and we will meet them. you know, keep supporting us and keep caring about us, because we will achieve our dreams, you know. So. You know, we may not do it, you know, as quickly as that, but we will be there. We will get there. You know, just keep supporting us, and we will do what you expect us to do.
I think there should be a bit more recognition for the really great professors that we have, and faculty and staff, and also the students. I think there's not enough recognition for the students that do really well in their classes. So I think if that happens, there's going to be more students that want to succeed. And they would be used as examples. So I think more recognition for everyone who's doing great work in their colleges.
I would like to add to the Achieving the Dream, Inc., to the board of directors and their partners and sponsors, thank you so much for investing and believing in us and giving us this great opportunity not only to interact and be the voice for the student community, but to go and try some things. And so from what we have tried and what we have learned from this opportunity, I encourage you to go and offer the same thing, not just for students across the nation, but try to scale it within each community college that's willing to have dream ambassadors, willing to take time and have a student focus group, not just Phi Theta Kappa, but a blended amount of students who are all focusing on completing college education, completing their degree, completing their certificate, and then transferring and taking the next steps in life. And so that's what I would recommend.
I would like to head in a different direction. In my opinion, I think that financial literacy is an issue with students these days. So they're not very literate with reading their own finances. They're not familiar with loans and how much interest will be taken out and how much you'll be paying back and things of that nature. And I think just maybe, I don't know about a full course being mandatory or anything like that, but maybe a workshop to get people acquainted with what their financial situation will be like after they have, you know, taken a loan out or financial aid or whatever it is. I think that would be key and instrumental in helping students succeed. So. All right.
I can just think of one thing, that don't just cram us with facts. I think I said it earlier, but, you know, teach us to create a meaningful life. Because, I mean, I have teachers from when I was 5 or 6 years old that still email me and that I still keep in touch with, because that's how much of an impact they had on my life. As a student, we watch you like hawks. You know, professors and faculty. So you have no idea how much, you know, students watch you, and you never know. You might be the only encouragement or the only, you know, mentor or positive influence in a student's life. So, yeah, that's my.
All right, thank you. Can we give them all a round of applause? Thank you very much. So we could take 1 or 2 questions before the break. We have 3 microphones set up. You're right there in the front, so you don't need a microphone, do you? Are you going to have a question?
Yes, please.
All right, can you do it really loud so they can hear it? Okay. Or tell me and I'll repeat it.
My name is Tarrant County. I'm from Lane City, Eugene, Oregon. My first term.
Oh, here come.
Again, hello everybody. My name is Titus Foto. I'm from Lane, City, in Eugene, Oregon. I'm so grateful to Lane, thank you, because going back to college 20 years after is the best decision I ever made. And according to Skip Downing's book on course, there are 4 categories of students. The innovating learner, the doing learner, the feeling learner, and the thinking learner. Now, the traditional college or traditional school system prefer the thinking learner and maybe the doing learner. Now, I found out that I'm an innovating learner. I'm an artist. I like visual aid. So I can be thinking learner, but I avoid to be a doing learner. Now, and I believe that just a small percentage of students are thinking learner. Now, also I believe that many other students are being left behind because if in class the teacher doesn't find a way to help other students, then they lost. When I first took my web design,
so your question is
what shall we do about that?
All right, excellent question. I believe that he's asking about that there are various different learning and
four categories of learner.
Right.
What shall we do? What shall we do to help every other student because no
it's a
children
good
left
thing.
behind.
All right, cool. I like it. Great question. Thank you so very much. All right, so do you understand his question? Someone want to answer it? There we go.
Well, I'll start.
Okay, you go then.
I'll start, and I would say that, right, you have different learners, different students in the classroom, and we all have different learning styles as adults, even as children. And I would say one experience that I had at PCCUA that may be something other colleges do as well, but I would say under Dr. Murray and Dr. King and their staff at PCCUA, we utilized the smart board along with teaching. And then we also use the small groups and working together. So you have different opportunities for students use their learning style along with the lecture, questionings, cognitive thinking, and then applying it by doing the different labs that we talked about as well. But where I'm going from that is we've got to take it up another level. And that's what we were talking about earlier. And of course, we mentioned Twitter and Facebook, but we're talking about bringing technology into the classroom, because you will find that the majority of students have smartphones and tablets, and regardless of the way they learn, just like you're sitting there with that iPad, they will use that iPad, and however way they learn, it will take their learning experience to another level. And so that's just one of the ways, by being creative and innovative in how we teach and get the students engaged, is how we can address the different learning styles. Just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there is an exact answer for that, because it's a really good question, because I do know other students who have different learning styles that I do, and I think it's something we need to sit down and kind of look at how we can get professors to be able to teach in, say, 3 or 4 different learning ways. If we can find that, then I think that would be a great success for future students.
I think learning communities is a great way to solve the whole situation, because a learning community, not saying that it was scaled upon the entire school or whatever, but certain groups of individuals will be concentrated on in that certain environment, and they can see from how they've been affected by whatever they've been doing, technology, auditory learning, thinking learning, visual effects, whatever will help them. They'll know. They'll figure that out. They'll see the results. So they can continue and pursue that certain group. And they can come up with other learning communities for other certain types of groups. And to me, that's a good solution.
All right, great. Is there any other question? We can take one more question before the break. Yes, ma'am, back there on the mic. Thank you so very much. Yeah, you have to lower it a little bit. Yeah.
It's all microphone.
Hello. Yeah.
Hello.
I want to know, what is your #1 motivator to succeed?
My #1 motivator, honestly, is my son. He's 7 years old, and when he turns 18, he's been already given the option, because I'm come from a military background. I was in the military myself, so it's either you're 18, you continue your education, or you join the military. You make something of yourself. So he's my motivator, because I can't look at him and say it's one of those 2 options if I didn't go to college.
For me, my #1 motivator is definitely my mom. Just thinking about it, it just brings so many emotions. She's been through so much. She sacrificed so much just to ensure that my brothers and I succeed. She raised us single-handedly, and it was a rough time, but she did it, and she was my guardian angel, and I love her so much for it. I am doing everything I am, and I am here because of her. So I am so grateful for her.
My biggest motivator is, as an international student, my parents had to sell their property for me to be able to come to school here. So, I understand the sacrifice, because they don't actually own a property right now. So that's my biggest motivator. You know, whatever I came here to do, I'm going to get it.
To be completely honest with you, it definitely has to be my family. I don't want to sound cliche, but it's definitely my family. My mother's been very supportive of me ever since I was young. She's motivated me to go to school and educate myself and become the best I can be. So I think that she's always told me, you know, I've always wanted to help her out. And, you know, times are hard, but she just tells me, if you better yourself, you'll be able to help us in the long run. So I try my best to become all I can be now so that later on I can help my family in any which way I want. So that's my goal.
And I'd like to add, again, don't want to sound cliche, but kind of the same thing in the fact that the biggest motivator for me is achieving a delayed dream. And the role model I have for that is my mother, who raised 13 children and went back to school and got her certificate in cosmetology at the same school, PCCUA, that I'm attending today. And my mother, who's now 75, told me just the other day, she said, if I could do it, you can do it. And so that is my motivator, and I'm determined to achieve my dream.
Yeah, I think my motivator is also, it's a few things. It's very family orientated. My grandfather, he was very proud of me when I first went to college, because I was the first person who would get a full proper college degree at that time in my family. But then I dropped out after only a month. So now I'm back in college, and unfortunately my grandfather passed away 2 years ago, so I'm back in college and I want to get my degree for him, not just also for him, but in my mind I have a visual eye that I'm going to have, my parents are going to be there for my graduation when I get my bachelor's degree. So thinking in my head that they're going to be there, that kind of motivates me to get to that goal. And also to finish what I started, and not just to quit, that to never give up and to finish what I start motivates me.
All right. Okay, so you've heard a wide range of insights and experience and wisdom, and these young people were very excited. Oh, one last, okay, I'll take one last question, please. She's standing there waving at me. Can I do that? Yeah, well, I'm going to do it anyway because I can. I got the mic, right? And nobody's leaving right now, so, you know, please.
All of you are from different backgrounds. Has that become an issue at your college? And if it has, how do you think the college can help for that not longer to be an issue? Has that become an issue to yourself by being a different background, and how have you dealt with it?
Well, for me, I love being from like being a bit different and standing out. So it's, you know, it's great to be like that. And I think also, like, speaking from an international students' point of view, I think it's a benefit that we do have international students, because they are so motivated to succeed and they want to help their other fellow students. So I think it's a big advantage to have that.
Any other comment on that?
I guess as an international student, like Rixie was mentioning when she spoke the other day, that we don't really have access to, you know, financial aid, and, you know, there's a lot of things, like sometimes you see a scholarship and you're doing well, your GPA is 3.97, but you can't apply for that because, you know, there's so many restrictions, you know, in terms of academics and how we can apply for financial aid or scholarships, so yeah.
Right, it is an issue, and in fact, an issue, one that we can hopefully explore more at another time. So just right now, in closing, I was saying that these young people have given up a lot to come today. They were nervous, their legs were shaking, they gave up going to Disneyland today, you know. We thank you for that. We thank you for that. We know it was a sacrifice, you know. And so I would like to close by giving back to them, for you, the audience. I'm going to close by just telling a little tiny story in which you will have a directive at the end. And the story was that once upon a time there was an elephant, and the elephant was walking down the street. And the elephant, oh, I can't sit down. Okay, once upon a time there was an elephant. And the elephant was walking down the street, and the elephant was full of himself, and he was an individual, and he lived in a silo, and he just thought he could do everything all by himself. And he came down, and there was a little sparrow laying on the ground. And the little sparrow was sitting there with its hands just reaching up to the sky, just reaching up to the sky. And so the elephant said, "Hey, little sparrow, what are you doing?" And the sparrow said, "I'm holding up the sky." And the elephant said, "You can't hold up the sky. You're nothing but a little sparrow." And the sparrow said, "I'm doing my part." And I would like all of you to stand up. You guys sit down because they're doing it for you. Stand up, come on, everybody stand up. All right, and because we have to make a commitment to these students that we will do our part. So everybody raise your hand. All right, let's do our part. All right, you got to say, we will do our part to make sure that all students are successful. Now let's give them a round of applause. Thank you very much. Hey.